Hi everyone, welcome to VRC with Gaurav. In this video, we will take a look at CAT 2022 first slot and second RC passage. Okay, so without any further delay, let's dive into it. I have highlighted a few words which I think that would be a good addition to your glossary, to your vocabulary with respect to understanding the passage. But please keep in mind that the words are very basic, very straightforward. You can go through the passage and even attempt the questions, even if you are not 100% clear regarding the meaning of these words. Okay, so I put them in there just for additional information, might come in handy later on. Okay, then. So now let's go to what the passage actually talks about. Okay. So the author sets the narrative in the very first paragraph itself. Now, instead of trying to decode what he's saying with respect to the same word, using the same word which the author does, I would like to bring before you a very relatable yet sort of lame example, जिससे हम समझ सकते हैं कि what the author is trying to paint before us. Okay, so here it is. Okay, so I hope a majority of you might be familiar with what this painting is. Okay, the reference, of course, is the movie Welcome. A bit old movie now, but a sort of classic as well. So what the first paragraph says is, let us say that Majnu Bhai, okay, also known as Sagar, has painted this beautiful painting. Okay. So there is some European museum, there is a Western museum which likes this painting a lot. Okay, and they send in a request कि please ये painting हमको दे दो, हमको हमारे museum में रखना है. So author says that ठीक है, there is this original painting which is with some Chinese museum. Let us say that this original piece is with some Chinese museum. Okay. And they get a request from the Western countries, European museum, American museum, something. Please give us this painting. We liked it a lot. Blah blah blah. So author says कि Chinese के सामने ना दो options होते हैं, दो तरीके होते हैं. एक होता है Fangjipin. Okay, I think that I'm pronouncing it okay. I'm not an expert in Chinese language. And there is another thing which is called as Fujipin. Okay, okay. So what about this? So Fangjipin is what? It is a sort of imitation, sort of replica, but with minor changes here and there compared to the original. Maybe the size of the copy, the size of the original are different from each other. Maybe there are some one to other changes. Let's say you make another painting there, but the color of the tail of this horse in here is different. Okay. So in that case, it would be called as a Fangjipin. That broadly similarity है, but थोड़ा changes इधर उधर है, maybe change in size, maybe change in one two elements here and there. But there is another half to the story. To the Chinese, there is another version called as Fujipin, जहाँ पे वो एक exact replica बनाते हैं, exact copy बनाते हैं, which has absolutely no difference from the original. Okay, nothing different from original. And what this Chinese people do is कि अगर वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज से इनको रिक्वेस्ट आई है कि प्लीज मजनू भाई की पेंटिंग हमको दे दो, तो व्हाट दिस गाइज विल डू इज दे विल हायर अनदर आर्टिस्ट who will create an exact replica of this painting which is called as Fujipin, and then they will give this replica to the Western museum and say ये लो मजनू भाई की पेंटिंग. But the Western countries will come to know कि नहीं, अगर ये मजनू भाई की पेंटिंग है तो how come all the Chinese also are in possession of it? So then they come to realize कि नहीं, Chinese people have created this Fujipin वाला scenario and given us an exact replica. तो यहाँ पर कल्चरल मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग और पोटेंशियल इंसल्ट का प्रॉब्लम आ जाता है. व्हाई? बिकॉज वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज और चाइनीज कंट्रीज का जो ओरिजिनल का आइडिया है, इट इज नॉट सेम. चाइनीज लोगों के लिए जो पेंटिंग मजनू भाई की उनके पास में है and the copy which they have given to the Western people, they are one and the same thing. This is with respect to whom? The Chinese. But for Western people, this is not the case. Western लोगों के लिए ओरिजिनल मतलब one single piece only. बस मतलब मजनू भाई ने जो ये पेंटिंग बनाई है, बस यही पेंटिंग खुद में ओरिजिनल है. रेस्ट एवरीथिंग एल्स, नो मैटर हाउ गुड, नो मैटर हाउ एग्जैक्टली द सेम, ये ओरिजिनल नहीं हो सकता. ऑल ऑफ दोज आर कॉपीज, ऑल ऑफ देम आर डुप्लीकेट. ठीक है. Duplicate is a sort of Indian context word, might be even derogatory. In art world, we don't say duplicate, we say copy, replica, might be even fake, ऐसा कुछ, ठीक है. So this is what the first paragraph is saying कि ये कल्चरल डिफरेंसेस है ईस्टर्न कल्चर और वेस्टर्न कल्चर में रिगार्डिंग इंटरप्रिटेशन ऑफ व्हाट इज ओरिजिनल एंड व्हाट इज डुप्लीकेट. ठीक है, डुप्लीकेट आई एम सेइंग लार्जली फॉर इंडियन ऑडियंस ताकि आपको कॉन्टेक्स्ट समझ में आ जाए. ओके, तो the author then takes this forward and gives us similar examples in Japanese culture, similar differences with respect to European culture with respect to a building that is being discussed in the second and third paragraph. There is this very old shrine, very old temple in Japan, which people think it is 1300 years old. But it turns out that building is pulled down and rebuilt right from bottom, right from scratch every 20 years. तो ऑथर सेज अगर आप वेस्टर्न पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से इसको देखोगे तो दिस डज नॉट सीम वेरी एप्लीकेबल. इमेजिन दैट यू लिव इन अ बिल्डिंग, जो आप कहते हो मेरी बिल्डिंग, मेरा घर 200 years old है, but it turns out that it is broken down, it is pulled down every 10-15 years, a new building comes in its place. But no, you say that नहीं, मेरा घर 150 साल 200 साल पुराना है. So to the Western people, this is not something acceptable. But in Eastern cultures, in Japanese, Chinese, it's like, no, this is the way it is. Okay, we consider it this old. Similar sort of analogical situation, example author ने दिया, जर्मनी में भी एक चर्च है, okay, जहाँ पे दिन रात रिपेयरिंग चलती है. Okay, I have given the meaning of scaffolding in the glossary, please check it out. दिन रात रिपेयरिंग चलते रहती है वहाँ पे. Why? Because the structure is such that the stones degrade, they get eroded very very quickly. So because of that, the non-stop restoration, non-stop renovation work is going. Okay, but यहाँ पे author ने लिखा नहीं है, but he is trying to imply, please keep in mind, he is trying to imply that the Western people will never say कि हमारा ये cathedral इतने बरसों पुराना. This is where a difference between Western and Eastern cultures against comes out. Okay, and then taking forward the narrative in the fourth paragraph, this is where हल्का सा आपको inference खुद का लगाना होगा. Let me clear Majnu bhai ka painting from here. Thank you Majnu bhai and his painting, you have served good job here. Okay, now what does the author say when it comes to fourth paragraph? आर्ट वर्क, पेंटिंग रिलेटेड जो डिस्कशन है ना, ओरिजिनल और डुप्लीकेट वाला, दिस इज अ सॉर्ट ऑफ वेरी मॉडर्न वेस्टर्न टर्म. ऐसा क्या हुआ, रिसेंटली ये टर्म बहुत ज्यादा कॉइन हुआ है, अनअसेलेबल ओरिजिनल, अनचेंजेबल ओरिजिनल. व्हाट अबाउट इट? ऑथर सेज कि राइट एज रिसेंटली एज 17th century, मतलब आज से 400-500 साल पहले तक, व्हाट यूज्ड टू हैपन इज कि अगर आपको यूरोप में इतिहास की, पास्ट की कोई चीज मिली है, of course it would be in a very damaged condition, broken down, maybe आधी बची है, आधी खत्म हो गई है. तो what these guys would do is they would restore it. Okay, आधा बचा है, बचा हुआ हाफ वो खुद बनाएंगे उसका टूटा हुआ, but not necessary exactly in the way जैसे वो originally था. No, in that case even a European artist would put in some intervention, would do something from his end as well. But surprising thing is कि ये चीज आज नहीं चलती. So here author is trying to say कि even Europeans would do some 19-20 काम किसी चीज में, do some changes to the original thing, still call it the original, right up to 17th century also. But अभी modern day definition of original is what? जो है जैसा है वैसा ही चाहिए. No change possible. Okay, and in that very thing itself we want the exact same thing and it should be as unique individually as possible. उसका xerox copy बना के हमको मत दो. We are not okay with it. We will not accept it as an original. We will call it a xerox copy. We will call it a duplicate, whatever. But this is where Eastern culture and Western go head on, and this spills over into the concept, into the topic of cloning also. What does the author say about cloning? कि Western cultures, especially people who have a firm belief in Christianity, they are not okay with cloning. Okay, Christians called for a ban on human cloning, but what we have over here in terms of Eastern cultures, we have this researcher Wang Wusuk, who is a Buddhist, and he says कि मेरा religion, मेरी culture is very okay with cloning. Buddhism तो कहता है कि life gets recycled through reincarnation. So when I am cloning somebody, when I am carrying out cloning of any living organization, I am not doing anything unethical. I am not doing anything opposite of philosophy, opposite of ethics. I am completely okay. I am just following what is there in book. Okay. So to wrap up the passage in 2 sentences, the narrative is very straightforward. Concept of original and duplicate is vastly different in Western countries and Eastern cultures like Chinese, Japanese, and Korean. Chinese people will create an exact copy of something and call it as the original or give it the same value as the original. वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज में ये नहीं चलता. वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज में ओरिजिनल पीस ओनली एकमात्र वन एंड ओनली वही होता है. एवरीथिंग एल्स इज डुप्लीकेट, कॉपी, अनरियल, फेक, व्हाटएवर. Okay, so with that I hope that you have understood what the paragraph wants to say. With that, let's go to the question now. Okay, coming to the first question. All right, what does the question say? Which of the following scenarios is unlikely to follow from the arguments of passage? So you want to find an option which is not according to the author, not in line with information given to us. So information क्या है कि Chinese people have a far looser, far liberal idea regarding duplicate, original, copy. Western cultures have a far more strict idea कि ओरिजिनल एक ही चीज होती है, डुप्लीकेट नहीं चलता हम. ओके, चलो लेट्स गो थ्रू ऑप्शंस वन बाय वन. व्हाट डज द फर्स्ट ऑप्शन से? 21st century Christian scientist, okay, modern scientist, is likely to oppose cloning, definitely, because of his philosophical orientation. Yes, we are given that modern day Christians, they are opposing cloning. All right, so yes, we can say bye bye to this. This is in line with the passage. What do we want? We want something that is not in line with the passage. Okay. Second, 17th century British painter, he wouldn't have a problem adding personal touches when restoring an ancient painting. Definitely, this part where I'm moving my laser right now, ये part वहीं पे बोला है कि 17th century तक चलता था ये कि आप ancient artwork को कोई बाहर निकालते हो, अगर वो खराब हो चुका है तो उसको रिस्टोर करने के लिए आप पर्सनली उसके अंदर खुद के कुछ चेंजेस कर रहे हो. यू माइट इवन गो एज फार एज चेंजिंग इट्स अपीयरेंस एंड इट वुड बी ओके एट दैट टाइम इन यूरोपियन कल्चर. इसलिए ऑप्शन बी ऑल्सो इन लाइन विद इंफॉर्मेशन इन पैसेज, नॉट द आंसर. जंपिंग ऑन ऑप्शन नाउ, ऑप्शन डी, 20th century जापानीज मॉन्क, मतलब रिसेंटली अभी वाला ही 30, 40, 50 साल पहले का ही कोई मॉन्क, ही वुड वैल्यू a reconstructed shrine as the original 100%. okay, Chinese people or Japanese people, they are very okay कि अगर ओरिजिनल गिराकर उसकी जगह पे आपने न्यू भी बना लिया, if it is the exact same thing, so they will regard it as good as the original and be very okay with it. So yes, as far as we are talking about somebody Japanese, this is all right, hence in line with the passage. आंसर नहीं होगा, आंसर बनता है ऑप्शन सी. Why? 17th century French artist जो क्रिश्चियन वर्ल्ड व्यू फॉलो करता है, he would need to be completely true to the original intent of a painting. No, as far as 17th century is concerned, we are given over here in Europe, what used to happen is they would be okay with making changes. Okay, so option B and C are actually opposite of each other. So अगर हम B को accept करते हैं in line with passage, so C naturally becomes not in line with the passage. That's it. So I hope that you have understood this question. If you have any doubts, please drop them in the comment section. All right, coming to the second question now. What does it say? What does it ask from us? It says कि value जो modern western countries देते हैं एक unassailable original को. Okay, what is meant by that? कि there is going to be only one single original piece. इसकी वजह से क्या result मिले हैं? So 3 options are going to correctly give us what is the result of this thought process except one. ठीक है. So let's walk through the questions one by one, options one by one. Option A, it allows regular employment for certain craftsmen. Yes, it does. Okay, as far as this concept of Freiburg Minster Cathedral in Germany is concerned, वहाँ पे हमें दिया है कि वहाँ पे साल भर दिन रात काम चलते ही रहता है, almost all year round, and in its workshop also the copies of damaged sandstones, original stones का भी restoration दिन रात चलते रहता है. So option A would have fallen in the category of generalization, but it gets saved because of this word certain craft. कि कुछ क्राफ्ट्समैन के लिए दिन रात काम निकलता है बिकॉज ऑफ वेस्टर्न आइडिया। डेफिनेटली you take away that word certain and the option becomes very dangerous. Okay, so this is actually in line with the given information, not the answer, because we are searching for except. Okay, going to the fourth option now. I have a habit of jumping in options. Option D, it discourages them from simultaneous display of multiple copies of a painting. Definitely वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज को तो एलर्जी है भाई, नहीं वन ओनली ओरिजिनल, बस बाकी कुछ भी मत दिखाओ हमें, बाकी सब कुछ डुप्लीकेट होता है, वी आर नॉट ओके विद इट। डेफिनेटली इन लाइन विद द पैसेज। ऑप्शन सी, इट डिस्करेजेस देम from making interventions in ancient art. Yes, today they are not okay with it. 17th century में they were okay with making interventions, but question क्या बोलता है, modern west, आज का western country, yes they are not happy, they will not do this. Option C gets kicked out. Answer naturally becomes कौन सा, B. Why so? Why so? What does it say? It discourages them from carrying out human cloning. Okay, तो इसके अंदर प्रॉब्लम ऐसा है, ऑप्शन बी, वाई इज इट द आंसर, बिकॉज इट इज बिकॉज ऑफ देयर रिलीजियस बिलीव्स। ठीक है, जो अनअसेलेबल ओरिजिनल ये कंसेप्ट जो है, दिस इज स्ट्रिक्टली विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू आर्ट वर्क, एट मैक्स बिल्डिंग्स वगैरह के ऊपर में अप्लाई होंगे। बट हियर वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट ह्यूमन क्लोनिंग एंड क्रिश्चियंस हैव कॉल्ड फॉर अ बैन ऑन ह्यूमन। So this shows a religious inclination and not the artwork original wala concept being applied. That is why answer becomes B. So even though statement B is true when it comes to Western people not being okay with human cloning, the underlying reason is not unassailable original wala thought. The underlying reason is religion in this. Okay, the contrast between Buddhism and Christianity is given in the last para, isliye. Okay, so I hope that you have understood this question and its answer. Again, any doubts, please drop them in the comment section. Okay, very straightforward question. Third one, which of the following does not give us correct similarity between these two places, this Japanese shrine and the cathedral in Germany? ठीक है, देखते हैं one by one. Once again, let's start from the bottom. Option D. What does it say? Both will be completely rebuilt one day. Yes, sure. Japanese shrine का तो होता ही है. Every 20 years they do that. And with respect to that, Germany का shrine non-stop restoration work चल रहा है. And we are given over here कि पुराने जो stones थे Middle Ages के, हम कोशिश करते हैं उनको सेव करने का, उनको रिस्टोर करने का. But at some point वो भी पूरे के पूरे डिस्ट्रॉय हो जाते हैं and get replaced with new stones. So it means a day will come when the entire building of this cathedral, it will be made of new material, old original material सारा का सारा degrade हो चुका रहेगा. So yes, this is true with respect to both the places mentioned, not the answer. क्योंकि हम तो non similarity ढूंढते हैं. Okay. Option A, both can be regarded as very old structures. Yes, definitely. Japanese लोग तो 1300-year-old बोलते ही है. Plus ये कैथेड्रल जो है, इट इज गिवन टू अस कि इट वाज मेड apparently in the middle ages, okay, which is easily at least 700, 800, 1000 years old. Okay, so from that we can say this thing, this is a similarity, hence bye bye. Option C, both were built as places of worship. Very straightforward, आसानी से आप कर सकते हो. Here you just need to know the meaning of cathedral. Cathedral मतलब एक बहुत grand भव्य चर्च होता है, okay, with a lot of historical importance. And shrine is also meaning temple. Okay, so all these terms can be considered to be similar as a religious place where people go to worship, where people go to contemplate with respect to religious acts. So answer becomes B, because it is not true with respect to the Japanese shrine continually undergoing restoration. ये कैथेड्रल के लिए सही है, बट कंटिन्यूअसली रेस्टोरेशन मतलब दिन रात कामकाज श्राइन पे, जापानीज श्राइन पे हो रहा है क्या? नहीं. हर 20 साल में हम उसको तोड़ते बनाते हैं, बट वेदर दैट जॉब गोज ऑन डे एंड नाइट फॉर 20 years, नथिंग गिवन लाइक दैट. इसीलिए दिस बिकम्स द आंसर. दिस इज नॉट अ पॉइंट ऑफ सिमिलैरिटी बिटवीन द टू. ओके, सो आई होप दैट यू हैव अंडरस्टूड दिस क्वेश्चन आल्सो. इफ एनी डाउट्स, प्लीज ड्रॉप देम इन द कमेंट सेक्शन. Okay, coming to the next question now, last actually. based on the passage, which of the following copies, all right, would the Chinese be unlikely to consider as less value? मतलब चाइनीज को कौन से सिनारियो में ओरिजिनल और कॉपी इक्वल लगेंगे? ओके, दिस इज व्हाट द क्वेश्चन मीन्स, कि आपके सामने जो चार ऑप्शन दिए हैं इसमें से ओरिजिनल और जो डुप्लीकेट कॉपी बनाई गई है फॉर द चाइनीज पीपल दे विल बी वन एंड द सेम। तो हमें दिया है द कंसेप्ट ऑफ this Fuji pin given over here. What does it mean? They are exact reproductions of the original, which for the Chinese are equal value to the original. मतलब आप exact same बनाओ, dimensions में, colors में, every aspect में उसको same बनाओ, तब जाके वो Chinese लोगों के लिए one and the same बनेगा। Okay. Option A, पिकासो का पेंटिंग, पिकासो फेमस गाय, वैन गो अगेन वेरी फेमस गाय। तो वैन गो ने ओरिजिनल पेंटिंग बनाया, पिकासो ने उसका कॉपी क्रिएट किया, बट बॉटम में पिकासो ने खुद का सिग्नेचर लगा दिया। ओके, ये खुद की अलग शान मार रहा है वहां पे। नो, दिस विल नॉट बी ओरिजिनल, क्योंकि हमें एग्जैक्ट डुप्लीकेट चाहिए। ओरिजिनल में पिकासो का साइन नहीं था, पिकासो खुद के मन से कॉपी में डाल रहा। ऑप्शन बी, पिकासो इज क्रिएटिंग अ वेरी गुड रेप्लिका बट साइज इज मिनिमम, it's not having the exact same dimensions, so ये miniature वाला will fall in this category of Fangxi pin, पहला वाला line, okay, but we want a case of Fuji pin, so this is not the case, out। C, पाब्लो पिकासो ने वैन गो की पेंटिंग का फोटोग्राफ लिया था, वो फोटोग्राफ उसने पेंट बनाया है। तो इमेजिन 3 लेयर वाला काम चल रहा है यहाँ पे। ओरिजिनल पेंटिंग है, आपने जाके उसका फोटो निकाला, वो फोटो जाके पिकासो को बताया, पिकासो आपके फोन में वो फोटो देखकर उस फोटो का पेंटिंग बना रहा है। ओके, ही इज ऑल्सो ड्रॉइंग द वॉल जिसके ऊपर पेंटिंग इंस्टॉल्ड है, ही इज ऑल्सो ड्रॉइंग द पेंटिंग इटसेल्फ। तो नहीं, ये तो कुछ गड़बड़ चल रही है यहाँ पे, नॉट ओके। ऑप्शन डी बिकम्स द क्लियर विनर। वेरी सिंपल, वेरी इजी क्वेश्चन। पिकासो का पेंटिंग, वैन गो की ओरिजिनल पेंटिंग आइडेंटिकल इन एवरी एस्पेक्ट, मतलब एग्जैक्ट डुप्लीकेट बनाया है। एंड यस, फॉर द चाइनीज दिस विल हैव इक्वल वैल्यू एज द ओरिजिनल। ठीक है, सो विद दैट question 4 is also done। I hope that you have understood the question and the passage appropriately। if you like our content, please like, subscribe, share it with your other friends who might also be preparing for the exam। if any queries, please drop them in the comment section or on the mail ID that I've given here। thank you for watching, till then, see you, bye bye, the next video।